What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to USD. And I believe tomorrow we're most likely going to be doing rep to USD or BTC for the remainder of the week. I want to switch it up. A buddy of mine on Patreon decided to send me the chart, and I do want to honor that and check that out. So we will be looking at REP tomorrow. But as you guys saw in the title, I am going to be doing a price analysis on Litecoin. Litecoin potentially to $300, before 2019. Is it possible? So I've been on YouTube scrolling through, and I've been seeing tons and tons of YouTubers of all different sizes creating, price predictions, price analysis for Litecoin in terms of the end of 2019 or before the halving, where they expect the price to go. And a lot of them are kind of outrageous and very, very, very perma bullish. So I would like to give my own representation, my own transparent, open, review, price prediction, price analysis, whatever you want to call it, on Litecoin, potentially 300 by the end of 2019. But besides that, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We just broke 10K. Shout out to you guys. Turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump right into today's episode. So before we begin the analysis, I would like to just check out the current market cap, kind of gauge where we are today. We'll do short-term and long-term analysis today. Market cap is 285.5, 24-hour volume 48.2, Bitcoin dominance 56.7. So dominance is staying fairly the same. I'm seeing 24-hour volume slowly decrease, actually quite a bit compared to where we were. I've seen it at 70, 80 billion a couple of days ago. So we are definitely retracing, seeing more consolidation, more retracement, more sideways movement. You can see out of the top 10 cryptos, 3 out of the 10 are in red. The other ones are up, but really not by much, no more. I'd say the average is about 1%, if not maybe like 0.5% if you averaged out the top 10 cryptocurrencies. And you can see we're kind of slowly slowly trading sideways for majority of them, if not retracing, except for Binance Coin. Binance Coin it's a whole other, world. But now moving on to Litecoin, I want to look at Litecoin first, then we'll, discuss the rest of the market, see how everything, ties in. Let's check out short-term, the markets, then we'll go in and check out the $300 Litecoin prediction, price analysis by the end of 2019. Is it possible? That's the big question. So right now we're seeing some retracement on the market. Short-term, I am anticipating an overall market pullback. I know I don't want to sound too bearish, but just short-term, a market retracement. Mainly because you can see we had an ascending wedge trading upwards. We have our top resistance up here, and you can see it is acting as a pretty strong resistance up at 140, and you can see the price is kind of, having some issues breaking through that 140 region, and we could potentially see some pullback down to around 110, which would be a great buy-in opportunity on the short term. Due to the fact that we're also overbought, we're seeing volume dip off. We're probably going to trade out sideways, closing, this massive ascending triangle that we've been forming ever since December, which could lead to a potential break to, the $300 that we're going to look at in a second. But you can see sideways movement looks necessary. If not, this retracement back down to like 120, 125 is definitely something that is, a possibility. So keep that in mind. Now moving on to Bitcoin to compare all these charts, and then we'll dive back into Litecoin. So Bitcoin is definitely an interesting crypto to check out as well. There's also, an ascending wedge that is forming on this chart right now. And you can see for the most part, we are holding that fairly true. We're not seeing much trading outside of it. We were at one point trading above it. You can see right here, but we did actually just decide to break down below that. We were testing overbought. I apologize that I'm going to do that. So we were testing overbought right around here, indicating this retracement that we saw a pullback down to 50, which is honestly beautiful on the RSI. And that inevitably caught us up with the bottom of this support ascending wedge. And now we've just been trading inside of it for quite some time now. You'll notice off this break to the upside, we did hit resistance at 92.50, which I've been calling in all of my videos previously for the past like 2 or 3 days. I said this would be a resistance zone. You can see from previous history. And that's exactly what we did. I was actually surprised when I saw us break above it, but just as quickly as we broke above, we fell right below it. And I do think consolidation, retracement sideways, if not a pullback down to like 80, $700 is definitely in the market for Bitcoin in terms of short-term trading. These are also great buying opportunities because they'll most likely pull us back down to 50 on the RSI. We're also retesting overbought, so it's another indicator that Litecoin and Bitcoin need to retrace in the short term. Now let's check out Ethereum. Ethereum's in a better position than the rest of the cryptocurrencies. You'll notice that we do have room to move up higher. We're only at 57 on the RSI, but you'll notice we have hit a very strong, we're stuck in a channel right now, a very strong resistance at 270, very strong support at 230, and we're followed by this beautiful uptrend that we started back in April, end of April. So you can see with this movement and this trading sideways, we're most definitely hitting a resistance up here, and we could anticipate, if we see Bitcoin and Litecoin retrace, Ethereum most likely to do the same, to see some movement like that. So a great buying opportunity would be at some point of contact on this line. Now, that's only in regards to a short-term play, and I'll obviously be showing you guys how I do that. You'll notice that we should see a pullback down to here, followed by a movement up, and the second we retest 270, that's when I would sell off in anticipation for this break at the end of July. So there's definitely movement coming to the market. There's going to be some pretty strong, injection of volume that is going to creep up on the market. So lastly, XRP out of the top three, out of the top four, I guess, blue chip cryptocurrencies, and then we'll dive into Litecoin moving to, $300 price prediction. You can see that XRP was trading in a symmetrical triangle. We just previously broke out of it, which I was shocked. Resistance at 47 cents, and you'll notice we fell just as quickly as we rose up, back down, now using the top of the symmetrical triangle as a support, but inevitably it could push us lower down as we use the top of it until we reach, the end of this symmetrical triangle, followed by whichever movement in either direction. This is in the beginning of July, so we should see a potential move quicker than the rest of the market, and it almost makes sense that with that confirmation we could do something like this and kind of ignore this downtrend right here, the symmetrical resistance, which is now acting as a support, because it broke right through it. So inevitably it isn't holding the downtrend anymore. I know we are still trading above it, but I'm going to extend this one farther up because we could continue to use this pattern and and just follow this support up to the upside. But now moving on to Litecoin in the weekly charts in terms of a $300 move, I want to look at the weekly right now. You can see I just moved on, and I want to show you guys what 300 would look like on Litecoin. So 300 would be right around here. Bam, that's $300 for Litecoin, so it would have to clear quite a bit. We're about halfway there, but that would pretty much be retesting all-time highs. Now, let's say if we did continue this pattern all the way up, we traded like this. We didn't just go straight up. I'm not going to count moves like this. This is unpredictable. I mean, it's definitely possible based off this previous history. You'll see right here. And honestly, it does look like something that could happen, because if you kind of look at the charts, you can see we did have the small dip, which was right around the same area that happened here, followed by the straight streamline to the upside. And now we're kind of testing that same resistance zone, and then it was followed by a streamline upwards. So, I don't want to count it out that we could see a massive break like this. When we're really looking at things from this big macroeconomic standpoint, you can see that it does look very similar. If we've had all green candles, we're trading upwards, and we could see a potential spike to the upside. It's definitely not something to, dismiss, because it is definitely possible. I was dismissing it a second ago, but it looks like it is, a potential thing to think about. But let's just say we don't, skyrocket up, and we do decide to take the stairs up instead of the elevator, and we just trade it up like this. When would it hit? This would hit by March of 2020. The end of 2019 would be right here. So let's see. This is the end right here. This is the end. So we would have this much clearance to move up to $300. Now, it's really nice to look at this from this macroeconomic standpoint. But you can see if we do this, the sky's the limit. We could easily hit 1,000 at that point. But it's definitely good to have skin in the game. I like to have skin in the game. Some cryptos holding some coins to hodl, in a bag, in the ledger, offline. And you could see it's definitely a possibility to shoot up. And these are great prices to be buying into, because this is the second time now we've retested this level, if not the third. So if we don't streamline up, it's definitely possible that we could easily see a $250 Litecoin by the end of 2019. $600, that's unreasonable. $2,000, unreasonable. It's definitely a possibility to have that, but not at the end of 2019. I think that's way too short term, especially looking at things from the weekly standpoint. It looks like we need some consolidation, but I could easily see a $280, $250 Litecoin by the end of 2019. And if that isn't like warming to you guys, I'm not really sure what is, but I do think we need this consolidation. We do need the slow growth upwards instead of a spike up, because here's the issue. If we do spike up like this, we're going to fall just as quickly. And what does that mean? Newbies are going to be buying back in as we hit 270, as we hit 360, and they're not going to sell. And all they're going to experience is the wave down, and that is going to ruin their portfolio. So that is very smart for you guys to be subscribed to the channel now so that you can watch and learn with me and we can make the best plays possible, because honestly, if you guys wanted to hold long term, which I recommend, but that's what I like to do, holding on long term, we do look really nice. We really do. Another thing to point out that I'm actually noticing right now, which is kind of interesting, is previously when we were over here, we were quite a bit overbought. Now, I don't know, they're both overbought. When we broke out here, we were overbought, and where we are here, we're a little bit lower in terms of overbought. So I guess there still is potential to move up higher. But that's going to sum up today's video, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notification, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.